Hi guys, and happy Sunday, as well as happy new moon in Gemini, which will be tomorrow, Monday, June 3rd. And we know that this new moon is just full of possibilities, right? The new moon in Gemini really reminds me, for one reason or another, either the Ace of Wands or the Ace of Pentacles, because it is literally going for what we want, like the universe saying, what do you want? Let's go get it, right? So I do like that energy a lot for the new moon. Of course, I'm a Gemini, so of course I'm going to be all about that new moon. So today, for our tarot outlook for the week of June 3rd till June... What are we doing today? June 3rd until June 9th, right? And we're going to be using the Crow Tarot. Now, the Crow Tarot is by M.J. Cullinane. I think I said that correctly. I hope I said that correctly. And basically, I got this tarot deck on Amazon. So I found this one on Amazon, where I find a lot of my tarot decks, and I like it. I really do. I've had it for about a month or two. I've worked with it already. I'm not sure if I've used it in a reading yet, but I really do like the energy of this deck a lot. And of course, who doesn't like crows, right? So today, of course, you guys always send me messages about my hair. Today, what are we using? I think I washed my hair on Thursday, and I believe I used the gel called Curl Bounce. I believe that's what it's called. Today is like third day hair, which we're making it work. The bangs were not participating today, so that's why we got the little bun, but it all goes together, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at the card for Monday, Tuesday. So we're going to start with Monday, Tuesday. And once again, we're using the Crow Tarot. And it does bring, for those of you guys that are not still sure about reading intuitively, it does bring a really nice thick book. So it's not one of those with just a pamphlet. It does bring a nice thick book with a longer explanation. I always kind of tell people, when everybody always asks me, how do you read intuitively? When I teach my courses, I just say, go with what you feel. Go with the symbolism. Go with what you see, right? Because a lot of times you will read intuitively, and then you go check it in the book, and then you realize that the book says something completely different, but you resonate more with what you got intuitively. So the trick of reading intuitively is really trusting your intuition, and not doubting it, right? So and it sounds so simple, but it is. I've been reading tarot for over 20 years, and it's been the hardest part, is really, like, hands down, trusting the images or the messages that you get. But with practice, like I said, meditation, reading, the craft, anything we can achieve as long as we just practice, right? And I say there's no right or wrong ways. Whatever feels right to you, you always have to trust that, which is intuition. So let's go ahead and take a look before I begin to ramble. Let's go ahead and take a look at the card for Monday, Tuesday. Now, Monday, Tuesday, we have the Four of Swords, and this card to me has always been interesting, because when we take a look at the artwork of the Four of Swords in most decks, it almost looks like the crow or the person is dead and they're kind of waiting. But what the Four of Swords really means for Monday and Tuesday is to reset, to take a break, to rest. The world will continue, but if you do not kind of make your resting or your relaxing or recharging your energy a priority, what's going to happen is that you're going to get overwhelmed, right? You're going to get extremely overwhelmed, especially if you're picking up energy day in, day out. So basically, it's to not be afraid to take a moment, to not be afraid to be still. And a lot of us have problems with that. I teach meditation, yet everybody thinks, you would think, well, she teaches meditation. She could be really still. But meditation has always been a challenge for me. It actually took me 3 to 4 years to actually meditate the right way because I'm so all over the place. So what this is trusting your stillness, trusting that silence, because there is beauty there. There is wisdom there. We don't always have to be on the go. We don't always have to be glorifying busy. So starting Monday, Tuesday, it's almost like it's saying go at your own pace. Just don't be all over the place. It's not good for us. Even though we think it is. And I'm a person that I'm like, oh, if you give me a little bit of stress, I could get things done. And a little bit of stress for me, I say a little bit of stress is not a bad thing, but it's when we continue and we add to the plate, well, I have to do this, and then I have to do this, and this, and this, and this, that now you have like 20 things that you have to do, and now you're sitting there exhausted. You haven't started not one thing, but you're already exhausted because now you've overcommitted, right? So this is totally not overcommitting. This is going at your own pace and not to be afraid of the stillness. Do not be afraid of your silence, of just being still, of just being away just a little bit. We're not talking hermit energy. We're just being like unplugged just for a little bit. Everything will be fine and you will thank yourself later. Now let's take a look at Wednesday, Thursday. So Wednesday, Thursday, we're still in the swords. And what we see here is the Queen of Swords. So when we see the Queen of Swords, we know that swords, it's all about our thought process. The swords is all about the way that we're thinking, how we're acting, and things like that. Now, the Queen of Swords is a tough queen, right? She is balanced. She has her shit together. Now, she is also confident, but this all comes from within. She is not confident because she happens to be a queen and she has a kingdom. Actually, that sounds pretty stressful to me. I only have 2 children, and that's pretty stressful. So I don't even want to know what a whole kingdom is, would be like. But what we see with the Queen of Swords is that she is extremely confident because it comes from within. When we see her, she is independent. She is wise. She acts quickly, and she's also very sharp. All of those things come from the mind, right? So we don't want to confuse our brain and our minds. Our brain is our organ. We can operate on it. We could take a picture of it. They could fix it, right? But our mind is energy. We can't get in there, right? So what this is very careful with your way of thought, but being very careful with what you think about yourself, how you think about yourself. We can put a mask on and we could go out there in the world and look like we have it together. We could have our hair together. We could put our pretty makeup. We could put on our outfits and we look like, we see ourselves and we're like, hey, I look like I got my shit together. But the truth is, if while I have this beautiful makeup and this beautiful hair and this beautiful outfit, if I'm constantly thinking negative about myself, I'm not confident, right? And a lot of times we tend to try to find that on the outside. Like, well, people like me, I'm more confident, right? If these people are constantly cheering me on, I'm more confident. But what happens if you find yourself in a situation that it's just you and it's uncomfortable? Oh, we will soak that up and then we're just like, oh my God, I can't do this, right? So this is working with that root chakra, working with your self-confidence, understanding that you are confident, but you also have to work on the way you think about yourself. If I'm constantly putting myself down, I'm not going to feel amazing. And we all have those days. I have days where I wake up and I'm like, yeah, yay, today's amazing. And then I have days that I wake up and I'm just like, nothing fits, nothing looks right, my hair's a mess, my face doesn't want to cooperate, the coffee tastes bad, we have those days. And it's not fighting against that. It's not allowing myself to have a bad day. Like, having a bad day is not bad at all. It's almost just, while I'm having a bad day, if I already know I'm not feeling my greatest, I don't want to beat myself up on top of that. Right? So even though I'm having a bad day and I'm just like, going crazy, the Queen of Swords is reminding me that if I kind of work with my energy and I put myself up a little and I pick myself up a little bit and I start thinking positive things, even though in the middle of chaos, I will still feel better. All right. So this is working with that inner confidence from within, not around us. Right. So I like the Queen of Swords. She's very sharp. She has it together. And even though the days that she doesn't have it together, she does not become a victim of her ego. Queen of Swords is all about our egos. We got to check it. We got to take a look at our ego. We got to say, hey, dude, relax, one thing at a time, and I'm going. So you see the Four of Swords and the Queen of Swords. We're following a pattern here. So now let's take a look. Let's take a look at the weekend card. So look how beautiful this card is. Let's just take a moment and soak it in. These colors, the view, the roses, the crow, the lion, everything about this card. I don't know, to me it reminds me like a beautiful sunset in Tuscany, and I've never been in Tuscany, but a girl can dream. So as you can see, when we're talking about strength, all of these cards come together beautifully. What we see with strength is courage, right? And a lot of people confuse courage with, oh, you don't fear it. Or a lot of people, when we talk, they're like, you're so courageous, you have no fear. And I kind of look at them like, what? You don't know me. Of course I have fear. We all have fear, right? Anybody that says that they're fearless, I'm sorry, I don't believe you. I don't believe you, right? But having courage is literally that strength that you fear it. You are afraid, but you're still going to go for it anyway. That even your fear is not going to stop you from limiting. It's not going to limit yourself from going with what you want. The strength card is all about inner. It comes from within. Once again, a lot of times we're trying to find some kind of motivation, some kind of inspiration around us, and we don't, because it just happens that we have no muse at the moment. So if we start looking within, there's always something in there that's going to catapult you forward. So this is working with your passion. A lot of times when we're feeling low in vibrations, I always tell people, what are you passionate about? And you could see their face light up anytime I do my one-on-ones or I go do chats or talk to a group of people. You see their energy change when you ask them, what are your passions? Most of the times people say in small talk, what do you do for a living? Right? So people don't want to talk about that. Most people don't want to talk about that. Even people say, what do you do for a living? And I am very careful with how I say it, because as soon as I say this is what I do, then I start getting bombarded with questions and it becomes exhausting. You're like, okay, but I'm not working right now, right? So when we ask someone, what do you do for a living? Or, these little small chats, we don't see their fire within. We just kind of get, your normal answer. Well, I'm a teacher, or I'm a doctor, or, I'm trying to figure it out. And when you ask somebody, what is your passion? Oh, it's like this light just lights up and they're like, well, I really used to. And you'll see that they always say, I used to. And my question to them is always like, why did you used to and why don't you now? And they always say, my time. It's always time. I don't have the time. I used to be younger. I don't have the energy. And a lot of times we confuse our passion with what we used to be passionate about. So in my 20s, I was very passionate about surfing. In my 20s, I was very passionate about skateboarding. Now, almost in my 40s, I live in the middle of the United States. There's no beach here. So even though that's part of my passion, I can't hold on to it because I can't do it right now. Right? So a lot of times we have to think of this moment. What am I passionate about now? And really soak it up and going with it. A lot of times when we've hit a block is because we're focusing too much on our responsibilities and not our passion. So with the strength card for this weekend is amazing because it falls on a weekend. Take time for you. Ask yourself, what am I passionate about right now? And it doesn't matter how big or how small it is. And a lot of times we think our passions are silly, but our passions, it doesn't matter what your passion is. It doesn't matter. Even if your passion is making smudge sticks and creating blends, it's still your passion. You shouldn't judge yourself for what makes you happy. And our passion is our inner fire, right? So this weekend, you want to focus on your strength. You want to kind of clear your energy. If you feel a little bit like heavy, then focus on your passion. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this week's this week's cards of the week. This week on June 4th, I believe we begin our new monthly challenge, and that is, I believe it's not the inner monologue. I do have it posted, so go to www.lightwitchtarotshop.com and check it out. Feel free to follow us on Facebook. We got a new page, so that one is Facebook Light Witch Tarot Shop, and then Instagram Light Witch Tarot Shop as well. So I will see you guys again next Sunday. So lots of love and light to you all, and blessed be. Oh, and before I forget, if you're watching this Sunday, right, the sale ends tonight, but we do still have a sale going on. Code Gemini, it's my birthday sale. So we have Code Gemini and save 30% shop wide, except crystals, because those are brand new posted, and Code Moon, and you save 15% off all readings. I'm almost booked till August, so make sure that if you guys are booking, I'm almost booked till September. So make sure if you guys when you guys book your reading, you know that there's a little bit of a time wait. I know we don't like to wait, but it is good, right? I've been doing this for 20 years, so sometimes you'll see that I'm booked for 2 months, sometimes I'm booked for 4 months ahead. But you know, as my clients say, the wait is worth it, right? So thank you for hanging out with me. Enjoy your tea, enjoy your coffee, enjoy your Sunday. I love you. Lots of love and light to you all, and blessed be. Bye-bye.